Tensions are at an all-time high, and social media is spiraling after one of the most controversial voices in hip-hop gossip, Tasha K, dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. In a late-night live stream laced with cryptic warnings and fiery conviction, Tasha claimed to have proof that Mendeecees' highly publicized DNA test was completely rigged. Yes, the same test that allegedly shut down Erica Mena's explosive claim about a secret baby. Now Tasha's receipts are throwing the entire situation back into chaos, questioning everything fans thought they knew. Was Erica really lying? Or was she silenced by a setup so carefully orchestrated that even VH1 turned a blind eye? The whispers started as internet noise, but after Tasha's so-called evidence began circulating in private DMs and locked forums, fans are demanding answers. Meanwhile, Mendeecees is said to be furious behind the scenes. Yandy is allegedly in damage control mode, and insiders claim that VH1 execs are scrambling to handle the PR fallout before it torpedoes the franchise. As the lines between truth and manipulation blur, one thing's for sure: this isn't over. If what Tasha's saying is even half true, Erica's baby bombshell just went from dismissed to dangerously real. And now, the entire cast is on edge. Mendeecees had been silent for weeks, refusing to address the whispers that had started to build like a slow storm. Ever since Erica Mena came forward with her emotional claim about a secret baby and demanded a DNA test, fans had been split. Some believed Erica was grasping at attention, while others sensed something deeper, something real. When the DNA test results came back negative, the internet exploded with mockery, memes, and accusations against Erica for fabricating drama. But then Tasha K did what she always does. She stirred the pot, only this time she didn't come empty-handed. In a cryptic teaser video, Tasha hinted that the DNA test everyone saw might not be what it seemed. She didn't name names, didn't drop the full evidence, but the tone in her voice was enough to send shockwaves through the community. She spoke of money being moved, lab inconsistencies, and someone high up at VH1 pulling strings to shut this down before reunion taping. It sounded like wild speculation, until the receipts began to surface. An anonymous email leaked to Tasha's inbox included a lab technician's claim that he was pressured to match results to a predetermined outcome. The email, riddled with typos and half-sentences, sounded rushed. The tech wrote that something felt off, and that he was told not to ask questions. In the attached screenshot of internal messages, one line stood out: "Confirm the negative, it's what they paid for." Fans were stunned. Suddenly, the tide began to shift. Erica, who had gone quiet after the test result backlash, returned to social media with a single story post. A black screen with white text that read, "You were all so quick to clown me." No tags, no caption, just a bitter reminder of how fast the internet can flip on a woman they once cheered for. It didn't take long before fan pages began digging again, reposting old clips from the show where Mendeecees looked nervous, where Yandy shifted uncomfortably, where things no longer felt so casual. Mendeecees' team went into immediate shutdown. No comments, no interviews. Even his normally chatty cousins and entourage were oddly silent. One fan claimed they overheard him at a restaurant in Atlanta, heatedly arguing on the phone saying, "I told you this would come back," before storming out with his cap pulled low. Whether the story is real or fan fiction, it only added fuel to the fire. Yandy, on the other hand, couldn't afford silence. She hopped on Instagram Live the following night, acting unbothered, sipping tea and talking about self-care and positive vibes. But viewers noticed her tone was defensive, her words calculated. Someone in the comments asked directly, "Did you fake the DNA test?" Yandy's face dropped for a split second before she chuckled and said, "Y'all believe anything." But that second of hesitation didn't go unnoticed. By the next morning, Tasha K returned, this time with a 10-minute video titled, "The Truth Y'all Ain't Ready For." She played the alleged audio of a phone call between two VH1 production assistants discussing the reunion episode. In it, one voice said, "We can't let Erica hijack the narrative. It's gonna make Mendeecees look bad." The second voice replied, "We already got the test handled, so it's handled." Whether staged or real, the audio hit hard. The timing, the voices, the background noise, it all felt too specific to dismiss. Across Twitter, fans began demanding answers. Hashtags like Swarweets, Dina Fraud, and Justice for Erica started trending. Tasha's mentions were flooded. Some praised her for exposing the truth, while others accused her of manufacturing drama for views. But the biggest surprise came when Erica herself reposted the video with 3 words: "I tried, y'all." Suddenly, the woman painted as desperate and delusional seemed credible. Mendeecees still hadn't said a word. Insiders claimed he was in meetings with legal advisors, trying to decide whether to sue for defamation or stay quiet and wait for it to blow over. One producer from the show allegedly told a friend that Mendeecees is livid because the deal was to keep this buried. The word deal set off a whole new round of speculation. What deal? With who? And how deep did it go? Backstage, people who had once rolled their eyes at Erica's meltdown were now whispering apologies. Even some of the cast, including Bambi and Rashida, were allegedly distancing themselves from the situation. One source said Rashida told a producer, "I don't want my name anywhere near this fake baby mess." But behind closed doors, she was furious at being kept in the dark. The loyalty on set had fractured. Erica's energy had changed too. She wasn't crying anymore. She wasn't begging for belief. She was calculated, sharp, and scarily calm. In a short live, she said, "I told y'all what happened. I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't lying. They just hoped I'd give up." Fans flooded the comments with apologies, emojis, and encouragement. Someone even wrote, "We owe Erica an entire season." Meanwhile, VH1 released a vague statement, saying, "We stand by the integrity of our production process." But they didn't mention the DNA test directly. And that silence, it only made things worse. It felt like a non-answer to a very real question, and fans weren't having it. Influencers, gossip bloggers, even small podcasts started tearing into the network, calling it manipulative, corrupt, and willing to gaslight a woman for views. The entire situation spiraled from television drama to real-life scandal. Mendeecees' reputation, once somewhat repaired after his prison release and marriage stability, was now hanging by a thread. People began revisiting old allegations, past behavior, and that infamous moment when he told Yandy, "You held me down, but not how I wanted." It all started to look like a pattern, one where women took the fall while he kept his hands clean. More people started stepping forward with stories. One anonymous source claimed that Erica had tried to do a private DNA test months before taping, but the results mysteriously got lost. Another said Erica wasn't even supposed to be part of the original season lineup, but producers brought her in last minute because they knew she'd bring fireworks. Now fans wondered if she was set up from day one. The story had turned upside down. From Erica being shamed and dismissed to her, now being seen as possibly the only one telling the truth, everything had flipped. And Tasha K, she was loving every second. In her latest post, she teased even more receipts. She captioned it, "Y'all want the uncut version or nah?" The comment section exploded. But the real question on everyone's mind wasn't just about the DNA anymore. It was deeper than that. If the test was rigged, what else was? If producers could sway something so serious, what kind of show were we even watching? Was anything real anymore? Or was it all just carefully orchestrated chaos disguised as real? What nobody expected was the sudden reappearance of Samantha, Mendeecees' ex and mother of one of his children. She took to Instagram stories with a cryptic message, "You can only hide for so long." The internet lit up instantly. Was she talking about the DNA drama? Was she implying there were more lies buried beneath the surface? Reporters and bloggers began hounding her for interviews, but she remained silent after the post. Still, the damage was done. The implication that more women may have dealt with similar manipulations sent chills through the fandom. Tasha K, meanwhile, wasn't letting up. In her next video, she claimed that 2 cast members, names bleeped out for legal reasons, had reached out to her directly. She said one of them told her, "They tried to make me say Erica was lying on camera. I refused." She didn't play the full message, but included snippets that hinted at a toxic behind-the-scenes environment where storylines were controlled and people were pressured to play roles that weren't true to reality. The narrative was no longer about whether the DNA test was fake. It was about how far the machine behind the show would go to protect certain reputations while sacrificing others. Fans started compiling their own evidence in long Twitter threads, linking old episodes, behind-the-scenes interviews, and suspicious editing cuts that now looked sinister. One thread pointed out how Erica's emotional breakdowns were always cut with dramatic music and quick zoom-ins, while Mendeecees was given long, stoic pauses, making him seem grounded. Was this manipulation? Fans were beginning to think so. Then came the moment nobody expected. Mendeecees finally posted. No video, no caption. Just a black and white photo of him in a suit looking down with the words, "Truth always wins." The comment section went wild. Some took it as a denial. Others thought it was him hinting he had nothing to hide. But most just demanded answers. "Say it with your chest," one person wrote. Another asked, "If you didn't rig the test, why not show the original lab paperwork?" The silence only made people more suspicious. Erica, ever the strategist, used the moment to go live. But instead of tears or anger, she laughed. She scrolled through the comments, shaking her head, then said, "They really thought I was going to roll over and cry forever." She didn't name anyone directly, but the shade was clear. She hinted that more was coming, that she had her own receipts, and that some people were too busy being fake righteous to admit they messed up. Her live reached over 100,000 viewers in less than an hour. Around this time, fans began calling for VH1 to release the full unedited footage of the DNA test segment. A petition circulated online demanding transparency. Bloggers and small outlets picked it up, and within days it had gathered over 25,000 signatures. The pressure was mounting, and VH1 couldn't ignore it forever. Rumors started to circulate that the network was considering a bonus episode or special investigation segment to address the controversy, but insiders claimed Mendeecees was strongly against it. As the chaos escalated, other cast members started to take sides. Bambi posted a photo of herself with Erica and a caption that read, "Real recognizes real." It was subtle, but clear. Meanwhile, Young Jock posted a video about people needing to take responsibility, but never said who he was talking about. Fans argued in the comments, dissecting every word, every emoji, trying to figure out who was supporting who. The cast was dividing, and the public could see it. Producers reportedly had to step in and separate certain cast members during filming because the energy had gotten so tense. One insider said, "There was yelling, threats, even a crew member crying. It's like everyone's tired of pretending." Someone else claimed that a security guard had to stand between Erica and another castmate during a confessional shoot because things got too real. Whatever happened, it was clear that the fake reality had finally met the real consequences. Even behind the scenes, staff were beginning to speak out anonymously. A makeup artist reportedly told a blogger that there were weird vibes the day the DNA segment was taped. She said everyone was nervous, there was extra security, and one of the producers was pacing nonstop. She also claimed that Yandy and Mendeecees arrived late and avoided small talk with crew members, something totally out of character. At the time, she thought it was just another high-stress taping. Now, looking back, it felt like they were hiding something. Meanwhile, Tasha K dropped another twist. In a midnight video titled, "They Paid for Silence," she read aloud from what she claimed was a partial contract between a cast member and the network, where hush clauses were mentioned. While she redacted names, fans believed the timing was too perfect to be coincidence. In the contract, it allegedly stated that participants agree not to disclose internal agreements or results that may disrupt show continuity. If real, it meant that the DNA test outcome could have been covered by legal agreements before filming even started. This led to even more questions. Was the DNA test ever real? Or was it scripted from the start with pre-arranged conclusions to serve a storyline? Were Erica's tears genuine? Or was she reacting to being trapped in a narrative she couldn't escape? The line between truth and fiction was gone. Viewers felt betrayed. This wasn't just television anymore. This was manipulation of people's real lives, reputations, and pain. As all of this unfolded, VH1 remained silent. No follow-ups, no interviews, no public clarification. Their silence echoed louder with each passing day. Some fans threatened to boycott the network. Others flooded comment sections of official posts with questions, demands, and outright rage. The once loyal audience that tuned in every week now felt used. Through it all, Erica remained surprisingly composed. In her most recent post, she shared a quote that read, "Sometimes you have to let people destroy themselves with their own lies." It was a quiet clapback, a final reminder that she was no longer playing the victim. She was waiting for what? No one knew. But the look in her eyes said it all. The storm had come. And now, the damage was just beginning. By the time the weekend rolled in, the story had evolved beyond anyone's expectations. This wasn't just love and hip-hop drama anymore. This was a full-blown scandal pulling back the curtain on how far reality TV would go to protect its chosen faces. And at the center of it all was one undeniable question. If Mendeecees' DNA test was fake, what else had been manipulated for the cameras? Erica's quiet confidence had morphed into a type of power no one expected. She wasn't begging to be believed anymore. She was watching the chaos unfold while letting the truth do the work. Her Instagram stories became a series of coded messages, a screenshot of the word puppeteer, a close-up of someone signing an NDA, and even a blurry still of what looked like a producer's clipboard. She never added text, never said names, but every post was dissected like gospel by her followers. And the message was clear: she was done being silent. Meanwhile, Tasha K wasn't letting up. In another fiery video, she claimed to have access to a second audio clip, one that would allegedly confirm the lab used for Mendeecees' test wasn't even certified for legal DNA testing. She explained how entertainment networks sometimes use third-party services to rush results, especially when they need a quick resolution before filming wraps. In her words, "This ain't even about paternity anymore, y'all. This is about fraud, legal fraud, corporate fraud, emotional fraud." Her viewers hung on every word. The clip she teased was short, grainy, and partially redacted, but the voice of a supposed former employee saying, "We were told this was for TV, not real." Court stuff hit hard. The fan base exploded with outrage. People began tagging lawyers and demanding an independent investigation. Even viewers who had never sided with Erica started to question everything. Suddenly, the idea that this was all entertainment didn't feel so harmless anymore. It felt cruel. Yandy, despite trying to remain poised, was now under a different kind of scrutiny. Fans began pulling up old interviews, episodes, even reunion footage, trying to pinpoint when she may have known about the test being fake. One clip resurfaced where she awkwardly avoided answering a direct question about the lab. Her response then seemed evasive. Now it seemed calculated. Influencers started releasing think pieces titled, "Was Yandy always the villain?" and "Why Women Protect the Wrong Men." Her image, once built on strength and loyalty, was now crumbling under the weight of doubt. Backstage, tensions were. A shocking twist came when a former VH1 associate producer, using a burner Twitter account, tweeted, "We were told to break Erica down. They wanted ratings. They didn't care." The tweet was deleted within an hour, but not before screenshots circulated like wildfire. News outlets picked it up, fueling more public outrage. The idea that a woman's breakdown was orchestrated for views disgusted even the most jaded fans of reality TV. One fan posted a side-by-side comparison of Erica crying on set next to Mendeecees, calmly walking away with the caption, "This is what emotional manipulation looks like." It went viral. The internet wasn't laughing anymore. They were angry. Petitions doubled. Hashtags roared louder. Even celebrities began to comment. A female rapper tweeted, "What y'all did to Erica is what they've been doing to women for decades. Call it entertainment if you want. It's trauma." As pressure mounted, VH1 released a second statement, this time slightly less vague. They acknowledged concerns raised by viewers and said they were conducting an internal review to ensure the accuracy and fairness of content aired. It wasn't enough. People wanted answers, not sanitized corporate language. The network's social media pages were flooded with demands to Funchka release the raw footage. Amidst all this, Erica posted one image, her holding what looked like a sealed manila envelope labeled "Test Results, Original Copy." No caption, no context. But the implications were massive. The comment section went insane. Was this the real test? Was this proof that the TV version had been faked? Did she have the documents all along? If so, why wait till now? Speculation turned to fury. Fans were now convinced the show had scripted Erica's humiliation, crafted a narrative around a lie, and profited off her pain. People began calling for boycotts not just of the show, but of the network's advertisers. Even, longtime fans said they'd had enough. The betrayal felt personal. This wasn't just about a messy storyline. It was about ethics, manipulation, and the complete disregard for a woman's truth. Bambi, who had once tried to stay neutral, finally spoke out. In an emotional live, she said, "I stayed quiet out of respect. But what they did to Erica wasn't right. I saw things. I heard things. And it's been eating me up." She didn't go into full detail, but the emotion in her voice was raw. Her eyes welled up as she added, "Reality TV isn't always reality. And sometimes people get hurt for the sake of a storyline." Her words were a breaking point. Fans started tagging other cast members, urging them to speak out or be complicit. One by one, small voices started to rise. A hairstylist who worked on set said she'd seen production edit out scenes where Erica defended herself. A background assistant shared that security had been told to watch Erica closely, but not Mendeecees. It painted a disturbing picture, one where the show had built a trap around her and then televised her fall. Even outside of the show, the scandal was seeping into pop culture. YouTube commentary channels, gossip pages, and even podcasts that usually avoided reality TV were now covering the story. Some framed it as a lesson in gaslighting. Others saw it as a case study in how media manipulates Black and Latina women's emotions for entertainment. Either way, the conversation had shifted. The laughter had died. Now there was only outrage, curiosity, and a slow-building demand for justice. And through it all, Erica stood still. No frantic posts, no yelling, no lashing out. Just quiet moves that spoke louder than any words. The envelope in her hand was now a symbol, not just of the DNA test, but of every woman who had ever been silenced, ridiculed, and dismissed. Fans were waiting. Media outlets were watching. VH1 was cornered. And somewhere in the shadows, Mendeecees was silent, knowing the storm he tried to bury was now standing at his front door. The silence from Mendeecees was starting to feel less like strategy and more like surrender. Every day that passed without a statement, a denial, or even a vague clapback only made the truth feel heavier. Fans weren't just asking questions anymore, they were answering them for themselves. And most of those answers pointed toward one. Conclusion: the DNA test was never real, and Mendeecees knew it from the start. What began as a rumor had become a cultural reckoning. The same show that built its legacy on messy fights, emotional meltdowns, and dramatic makeups was now being dissected for everything it represented. How it packaged pain as entertainment, how it pushed women into corners for views, and how easily it buried the truth when it got in the way of the storyline. And in the eye of that storm was Erica Mena, no longer the loud, controversial firecracker viewers thought they knew, but a woman who'd been betrayed by a machine designed to humiliate her. The envelope she posted with no caption, the one labeled "Test Results, Original Copy," it sparked waves of speculation. Some said it was her final warning shot before releasing everything. Others thought it was a bluff to provoke a reaction, but those closest to production knew better. One source said she'd already sent copies of the documents to legal counsel and 2 major media outlets. According to that same insider, what Erica had wasn't just a different set of results, but a signed request form from a VH1 producer asking the lab to provide a suitable result for broadcast continuity. If that form was real, it wouldn't just sink the show, it would set the entire network on fire. Tasha K, never one to stay quiet, confirmed that she had seen the document. She didn't show it, claiming legal threats were already coming in, but she described it in painful detail. During her next stream, she explained how the paper trail led to a shell company used to contract labs without a paper connection to VH1. She laid it out like a conspiracy thriller, but the pieces made sense. And what chilled viewers the most was her final statement. They knew this would ruin Erica, and they did it anyway. They needed her breakdown more than her truth. Yandy's response came 2 days later, and it was the moment many fans had been waiting for. In a nearly 9-minute live video, she addressed the scandal for the first time without brushing it off. She looked tired, raw, like the weight of everything had finally settled in. She said, "I didn't know the test was fake. I swear on everything I didn't know. I trusted the process just like everyone else. But if Erica has proof, she deserves to be heard." And if something shady happened, I'll stand with the truth, no matter who it hurts. It wasn't a full admission, but it wasn't a denial either. And in that gray space, people heard everything they needed. Within hours, the bye comments turned. Fans were no longer tearing Erica down. They were lifting her up. "We're sorry," trended on Twitter. Bloggers who once mocked her issued retractions. Apology videos popped up on TikTok. People were reckoning with how easily they believed. The worst about her, simply because the camera framed her that way. Even casual viewers who didn't follow the show were now invested. They saw something bigger, a woman who refused to break, even when the world tried to script her downfall. The final blow to the fake narrative came not from Erica, not from Tasha K, and not even from Yandy, but from a whistleblower no one saw coming. An anonymous lab employee emailed a major gossip site with screenshots of their internal system. One image showed 2 DNA result documents, one labeled Final Broadcast Version and one marked Original Lab File. They didn't match. The names were the same. The date was the same. The outcome was not. The whistleblower didn't leave a name, but their message read, "I couldn't stay quiet anymore." I watched that episode and felt sick. They changed it. She was telling the truth. Once the images leaked, the internet exploded. It was no longer speculation, no longer fan theories or cryptic captions. It was evidence. Real, tangible, undeniable. Proof that the DNA test had been tampered with. Erica's child wasn't just a storyline. He was the center of a conspiracy that had made a mockery of motherhood, truth, and public trust. VH1 had no choice. Their social media accounts went dark. Press inquiries were met with automated responses. Cast members were reportedly told to cease all public discussion of the situation, but it was too late. The truth was out, and nothing they did could take it back. Even advertisers began pulling out. One popular cosmetics brand tweeted, "We take women's rights seriously and will not support any platform that devalues them." Erica didn't celebrate publicly. No victory dances. No "I told you so" posts. Instead, she went live for 5 quiet minutes. No music, no makeup, no theatrics. Just her face and her voice. "Thank you to everyone who stood up," she said. "Thank you to those who apologized. I didn't want this. I just wanted to be heard, to be believed, and to protect my child's truth. This was never just about a show. It was about dignity. And now that the truth is out, those 5 minutes hit harder than any reunion scream match or reality TV punch ever could. They were real, raw, and final. The fallout continued. Mendeecees was reportedly removed from all upcoming tapings. Yandy stepped back from filming to focus on healing. Producers reshuffled cast schedules. Crew members were let go. And Erica, after everything, was offered a spin-off show. Some fans cheered. Others said she deserved to walk away. But whatever choice she made, one thing was clear: she had won. Not just the battle for her child's truth, but the war against a machine that thought it could rewrite her story and get away with it. What began as a scandal had turned into a reckoning. And now, reality TV would never be the same. Not because it was finally honest, but because one woman refused to let a lie define her. And that, more than any leaked audio or trending hashtag, was the real revolution. If you're still sitting there stunned, you're not alone. This entire situation has flipped everything we thought we knew upside down. From Erica Mena being dragged and dismissed to now standing in her truth with the receipts to back it up. It's a reminder that not everything shown on screen is the full story. And when voices like Tasha K start peeling back the layers, what's exposed can shake an entire franchise to its core. Whether you believe every word or you're still putting the pieces together, one thing's clear. This isn't just gossip anymore. It's about accountability, manipulation, and the cost of silence. So now we want to hear from you. Do you think Mendeecees knew the DNA test was rigged all along? Is VH1 really running damage control, or will they ever own up to what happened behind the scenes? Was Erica set up from day one, or did the truth just take too long to come out? Drop your thoughts. In the comments, don't hold back. If this story shook you like it did us, make sure to hit that like button so more people see what's really going on. And don't forget to subscribe because we're just getting started. When the lies unravel, We'll be right here to break it all down for you. Tap that bell so you never miss the next piece of the puzzle.